So after Christmas, I don't know if you're like me, you get into kind of this like weird phase, especially that week after Christmas. Like, what is this? Is this a holiday? Is it not? Is it vacation? Is it not? Are you back at work? What? You know, anytime, it's just kind of a down week. Or you're either coasting still from the holidays. So I like to think of things that either bring me up or something fun and festive to kind of have around New Year's. This is a really odd recipe for me because it encompasses a lot of pre-made or bought things if you wanted to, but it's one that oddly my grandma had. I think it was in the church cookbook. She put it in there back in like the 60s, 50s or 60s, and it's been kind of a family staple ever since, but it's a real oddity, and the ingredients that go into it may surprise you, but the outcome is amazing. It's crème de menthe ice cream. So if you don't know what crème de menthe is, it is a dark green liqueur. I honestly don't know what type of liqueur, maybe you don't want to know, but the thing is, when my grandma made it, which she always made it with crème de menthe, and she would like never really drink otherwise, but she would always say, I don't tell people there's alcohol in it. If they ask, I just say there's crème de menthe. And no one ever knows what that is. So it's kind of different now. I love the alcohol in it, and you can even make drinks out of it, which we'll talk too. So in here, I have the first ingredient, which is lime sherbet. You know, sherbet, you can usually think of it in that rainbow. Like we would buy the rainbow sherbet when we were young a lot of times because my dad was obsessed with any form of ice cream, frozen dessert. So I have it in here and I just have it kind of broken up just to kind of soften it. So what we're doing is using ice creams to make another ice cream. So here I have homemade vanilla ice cream. Now, you know me. If I can, I'm gonna home make it because I just think it's better. Ice cream to me is one of those things I love to make and I think it tastes so much better. I mean, let's be honest. When you buy ice cream, does it really have a vanilla flavor? If you buy a really good kind, yes it does. But a lot of them just are kind of foamy and like when they melt, they're not even like cream. It's like, what is it? So I do make homemade vanilla ice cream for this. Now, you don't have to. Use your favorite brand of vanilla and it will be delicious, no problem whatsoever. I'm gonna use this. So I'm gonna put the 2 vanillas I have here ready to go in here and then we'll just start mixing it together. I have all the vanilla ice cream now in there with the sherbet, and you can see I'm just kind of breaking it up. This is just gonna help it soften, because really what we wanna do is mix these together. And it helps if they're just a little bit softer. You don't wanna let them obviously come to full liquid form. Kind of what we're making is a weird version of those no churn ice creams, except this one starts off with ice cream. So it really couldn't be any easier. It's a flavor combo that for me is always festive, but probably because we always have it around Christmas, New Year's, kind of just the holidays in general, and it seems festive, but it honestly is good any time of the year. It has this like minty deliciousness. There's not much alcohol in it, so it's really not a high alcohol content. So I am gonna start mixing it with just a hand mixer, just to help get it homogenized, and then we'll let it mix until it's completely smoothened together. So I like it mostly mixed before we add the crème de menthe, just because it's easier to mix. If you get clumps of that lime sherbet and don't get it mixed into the vanilla ice cream, it just isn't good. I feel like this is one of those 90s recipes, even though it's a lot older than that, but kind of where you just kind of take pre-made items and make it, which usually I would say, but you know, if you make homemade ice cream, it's practically just feels like the whole thing is homemade. So I'm adding the crème de menthe. Delicious. I can smell it. It smells festive and so good. Crème de menthe, there's really not a lot of uses for it other than like a grasshopper, which is a cocktail. But here, use, we're bringing it back. So you can see it becomes really smooth, really just like soft, and that's exactly what you want. So it's not quite done. To make it really light, but yet still really icy and creamy. Now guys, okay, you know, yeah, this is just that whipped topping. You have to call it whipped topping, why? Because it's not cream. I can't call it whipped cream, but you need to use it in here. Since it's a frozen dish and you're folding in to a frozen item, real whipped cream, heavy cream that's whipped, will just kind of get bally and grainy and the texture is not right. You actually have to use, you know I love a recipe if this is what you have to do to make it. Like, you know I'm gonna love it because I would not share this if it was not worth it. I would not tell you guys to make it. So I'm gonna fold this in, which is gonna make it what? Really light, really just like creamy, delicious. And you wanna fold it in till no streaks remain because, well, you could do the streaks, I guess, if that's like your thing, but let's be honest, it's gonna look more beautiful. And you know what? don't feel bad. When I serve it, I don't necessarily tell people unless they ask for the recipe what it is. A lot of people are gonna think you homemade the most unique, delicious ice cream that they have ever had. And I tell you what, it is worth every little weird way to make it there is because it is so good. Now look at that. You're getting the beautiful creaminess. So you can put it into like little containers, airtight containers. You have to refreeze at this point because you can see it's just too soft. It's like if you were gonna churn an ice cream in like a homemade countertop ice cream maker. It needs to be frozen a little bit more once it's done. So if you wanna freeze it a little faster, you can put it into a loaf pan because it's a little bit flatter. So a little bit more easy to freeze, harder, quicker. Or just freeze it in a larger container, 4 to 6 hours. It will be perfectly frozen, but always scoopable, which is what I love. But I'm gonna fill up one of these. No, I'm not gonna make you wait. Well, you actually have to wait till you make it. I'm not gonna make myself wait. I think I need to try it just to make sure. I wish I could describe to you. 1, the flooding of like nostalgia, memories, everything that come back. 2, the idea that this should be marketed because it is so delicious. But 3, the fact that you can now all make it and be amazed at the unique, amazing flavor. You guys need to try this out. It's perfect. And you know what? I'm gonna clean up and I'm gonna show you a way, just as an added bonus, if you wanna adult it up, make it into a quick drink. If you wanna make this just a slightly bit more adult friendly or just something that you could enjoy, kind of like a take on a cocktail. This is a take on a grasshopper with Crème de Menthe ice cream. Now this is still soft, it's what I just made, which I kind of like it soft because then it's just more, I don't know, you don't have to actually, you can almost drink it, which is kind of fun. So I'm gonna put some of it in here. You can serve it in a tall glass, short glass, whatever you want. I'm gonna take some chocolate liqueur. It's pretty much just like a delicious chocolate sauce. I'm gonna pour that over the top. Now, if you really want to, we used it once. Let's just use the whipped topping again. Yeah. So if you're like me, and you're not gonna go anywhere probably this New Year's Eve, as none of us should, you get a quart of this ice cream, you make it, you make this, and this is how you enjoy your New Year's, because you know what? It's just all you can do. Okay, yeah. This is what everyone should do. If you're at home and wanna have a party for yourself, or with just, you know, your significant other, this is it. That is delicious. You may not make it to New Year's, but that's okay. It's just a fun take on what you can do. What's most important here is make and try the Crème de Menthe ice cream because it is amazing. And even though it takes some odd things, you try it once, you are going to be obsessed. So try it, and as always, what helps me the most is when you guys share these videos around. When you tag friends, when you make the recipes and post pictures, it helps so much. And it also just makes everyone see how easy so many of these foods can be to make, how fun they are. If I can do it, you can do it, we can all do it. So the recipe is on my website, wiseguide.com, along with every other recipe and thing I make. That's where you can go find me all the time. Make this, enjoy New Year's, try something new. I think you're gonna be trying it often, honestly. It's not gonna be new soon.